I literally just spawned in, and this little ankle biter just like started. I'm gonna die here, aren't I? I'm gonna die here. What is going on? Ahoy, I was feeling nostalgic lately, and nothing's more nostalgic to me than revisiting old memories with friends. So obviously I decided to go and visit the remnants of the old server that I used to be on 24/7. It wasn't anything special, not Hypixel or anything, just some place where I spent a lot of time having a lot of fun with my friends. So I pestered my friend Laney for the world file since I didn't have it, and yeah, it spawned me in the deepest parts of the world for some reason. Don't get me wrong. This is the spawn point. This is 0-0. It's just way below it. I thought I'd have to find my way back to where the bases were, but yeah, nah. Well, I was looking for a way out in the caverns, in the water caverns. I drowned, and then I got on top of a flying saucer, so... Oh! Alright. Here we are. This is that UFO that Laney built. Unfortunately, I spawned on top of it, so... Yeah, this is the saucer. My good mate Laney, or as you may know her, Pop-Tart Jellyfish 1216 made this. I don't know why she made this. No idea. I think she might be into aliens or something like that, but whatever. This is the spawn point, or well, it's supposed to be the spawn point. I didn't stay there for long because I had somewhere to be, places to see. I needed to get back to my old base. It was actually quite the scenic route getting there, but when I did, oh boy, it was just as I left it. The first thing that I saw in the horizon was my son. Well, he's not my son, he's more like a foster kid that I accidentally took in. But anyway, yeah, he built this house. It's my son's house. I'll give you a tour of that later. But the next thing that I saw was this baby. I forgot the name, I'll be real, but I read in one of my lore books that this tower was apparently called Kilimanjaro. And Kilimanjaro, whew, she's a beauty. I spent a lot of time making it. As you can see, it's made of deep slate and stone brick. Of course, we can't forget the bamboo on the inside, but it's mostly made of stone, alright? I dug up a lot of stone to make this, and then I had to go and put all those cobblestone into a furnace to turn it smooth and to make it into brick. It was a long process, alright? But after I was done with it, oh, she was a beauty. This isn't all I built though. No. This was only the gateway to Wyoming. Ooh, I remember what this was. So this was a giant dick statue, but I burnt it down because I didn't like the view. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I would look up, I would look out from my balcony over here, and I would just see this just giant pink penis. Who wants that? I don't want that. Yeah, of course. Before I actually show you Wyoming, I need to show you the outskirts. It's like if I take you to Vegas, before I take you gambling, I need to show you around Vegas first, you know? Enjoy the view, enjoy the environment. So, I showed you the clock tower I burned down. Now let me tell you exactly what the clock tower is. It used to be this giant pink penis right outside of my domicile. So it wasn't in my territory, but I could definitely see it from my territory. Just imagine yourself looking out into your front lawn and you see this giant penis erected right there on your driveway. Of course, I'm a good Christian, so I burned that down right quick. Laney and Dea threw a hissy fit over it, but I didn't tolerate none of that. I don't care how much I love them. Don't ruin my view with a member of virility. Now, if they had erected a wall of honka-donka badonkers, I would have been a lot more lenient. I wouldn't have burned it down. Anyway, next up, let's look at Gato's house. It's a watermill. A pretty cozy one too, if I do say so myself. Gato didn't really do much in terms of being known. He didn't do anything too crazy like making Water 7 or building these prisons. But I'll tell you what he did. He lived in Wyoming, and I think that's pretty good for me. He was more of a solo player. He went on adventures on his own. He went to distant lands, brought back some species like this plant that spouts whatever the heck. Well, I don't know what this is, okay? I don't know what creature this is. I don't know. But he brought that back. Okay? That's what he brought back. So this thing, it used to be not green. It used to be brown, like copper. But As you can see, time was not very kind, and it's now oxidized. It used to be a little farm place too, but I remember that he made me build him a redstone door thing or something, but is this really the best that he could do? I didn't build that, okay, he built that himself. Alright, so this is what he has. I am not exactly sure what he was doing here. For food, nice. For ores, exactly. And then everything in between. He's got, this is his bed. Then he's got, well, I don't know what he's planning here. Let's see. Oh, great. Yep, this is just what he wanted. That's exactly what he would want. So this is all the stuff he has. And then he's got a diving board here into that pool. Oh, he's got chests. I don't know how to access those though. Hold on. Oh. This is his farming area. Alright, how cute. Now, riddle me this. How do I get up there? Alright, hold on. Ow! But oh, right, just the other one. I didn't do nothing. Alright, so this is his storage area. This is our ender chest. Ores and rocks. So, yeah, this is his little storage area. That's my son's storage area. So, let's go to my place. I know he has a little tunnel here. Where, oh, there it is. So he made this, and it goes directly into my place. I'm not exactly sure why he would want to do this, but who am I to say no to my foster child, right? Right, here we are. He made this. It's a little bit unpolished, as you can see. It's not something I would build. And this is, oh, right. I forgot I did that. Let me tell you about this doorbell. When I heard that familiar doo doo doo, it's like Pavlov's bell went off in my head, and I just got flooded with memories of me practically begging everyone who was online at the time to come to my tower just to hear those 3 notes. I know that I said that this tower is great, but what I just really like about it is that it has this doorbell. I know it could have been better, but I built this tower for functionality and not aesthetics. Which is why it's just this giant cube tower going up into the sky and not... I don't know. I like it, but it could have looked better. Wyoming storage. Here we are. Stones and rocks. As you can see, it really fell apart when I wasn't in here anymore. No, not really fall apart, but all my stuff... I remember these being filled to the brim. And now there's just nothing. There's not even any organization. I don't know who last touched these, but it's not me. Look, there's even a stone brick in the... Whatever. Oh wait, maybe there is supposed to be a stone... No, there's not supposed to be a stone brick here. This is where everything that isn't wood is. You know what? Let me just... right there. Let's see if there's anything left in these furnaces. Oh. Somebody was making charcoal. And somebody was making a lot of green dye. Okay. Anything in these blast furnaces? Nope. In this barrel, we got baked potato. So let's eat that. Ooh, and this is the food. We've got axolotl. I remember keeping these because I wanted to give one to Lainey. Well, actually, no. I think I gave one to Lainey, but then they gave it back to me because they didn't have anywhere to put it. So, as you can see, I have a lot of watermelon. That's not what. This is a pumpkin. That's a pumpkin. Okay. I'm gonna take half. I only need half. A half of a half. I only need a 1/4. And this is my stuff. These are the equipment that I didn't use. So right now I need protection. So I don't know what I would need protection for. And that's the Wyoming nether station. Yeah, well, it doesn't work anymore because the nether, Lainey absolutely screwed it over. Alright? Don't I? Okay. I know nobody touched this because it's all the same. All of it's the same. Beds. And all the enchanting books and the pottery stuff that I have. You know what? Yeah. I knew that one day collecting all this from somewhere. I don't know where I collected these from. I just know I think I got these from mobs. Let's just say I got these from mobs. So I'm gonna wear them right now. And ooh, I remember this one. This is my flag. Oh yeah. It's all coming together. Alright, I think I need a couple of wood. I need some wood. And then put these together. And that's what I thought. Always was repping my place. Alright, so I do I still need some sugar. You know what? I do need eggs. So I need a stack of eggs. And then I'm gonna go into my sugarcane processor, which automatically forms sugarcane for me. That's what I thought. Turn this into sugar and make myself pumpkin pie. I remember having these e-chests around my place because I wanted my friends to have a place where, oh, dang. Oh yeah, that's my old armor. Not my old armor, my older armor. I gave my old armor to Steve. So these e-chests were basically areas where my friends could just say, oh, hey, you know what? Yeah, I need something from my e-chest. Do you have an e-chest? And I say, yeah, go to my e-chest station. Go to my inn. Oh, look at this. I even made a chair. And yeah, see, you can see it from my office too. The history of Wyoming. High above where the cherry blossoms sit, 'neath the heavens, blah 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 blah. We are not reading all of that. So let me explain what this is supposed to be. It's a lore book. It's where I found the tower's name. The once hostile lands have been teemed with watermills, farms, and other machinery. Yeah, watermills. The one fucking watermill that's not even on the mountain. Great. The land's pride and joy is the elevator. Kilimanjaro. Oh, the elevator is called Kilimanjaro. Okay, I remember now. It's all coming back to me. And I have no idea who started this trend. But I'm pretty sure that at some point in the server's lifespan, me, Lainey, Steve, and Dea all had lore books at some point. Albeit, mine was more historical. Theirs were more like diaries. But historical is the wrong word for this. It's not historical, I made it up. But that was the point. I originally joined the server just for the heck of it, but Lainey wanted it to be an entire SMP because she was inspired by the Dream SMP or whatever. So I indulged. Do as the Romans do. Mine was whatever, Steve's was One Piece related, and hers was... But we'll tackle that when we get there. For now, here's a quick overview of the alchemy heaven. It's not much. It's actually the bare minimum. Enchantment area with all the stuff you need to enchant, which is basically just bookshelves and lapis. There's even a little grinder right there on the top corner. Then the... What is this thing called? Potion stand? The thing that you make potions on. And a barrel full of materials that you need to make anything that you'd ever want. Of course, there's another book because I just loved writing these books. So this is my nether portal. It's as nether portal as it can get. Here's the pond. There was an axolotl here, but it's gone now. Oh yeah, and I made this lodestone. So basically what happened here is my friend Steve would get lost. So I dug out some netherite, and I used the first netherite that I ever got on this server to make this lodestone. And I gave him a compass. It's basically like a log compass from One Piece, and I said, like, yeah, if you ever get lost, just use this compass and I'll lead you home to me. This is my farm. My potato farm, my carrot farm, my beet farm, and my wheat farm. And this is, oh, right. Here's something interesting. I'm gonna put here, one baked potato. It would automatically go into a composter, and if it turns into bone meal, it would automatically go into this chest. Neat, right? Oh, and here's my pumpkin farm. my pumpkin and watermelon farm. Look, look, look. It's gonna gather that watermelon. Yeah. And it's gonna bring it back here. And it's gonna fill it up. Life was so easy back then. I never ran out of food. And these are my camels. I travel a long way to get two camels. That's one camel and this is the other camel. It doesn't have a name, but I like this guy. There were cacti in this pen, but I had to remove them because they kept killing themselves. Oh, and here's my sheep farm. I got a lot of sheep in here. Oh, and my chicken farm. Where I never run out of eggs. Because there's just like... There's a nest of chickens in there that are dedicated to just making eggs. Let me get inside here real quick. Like there. These chickens are the egg laying machines. They do whatever they want. They just lay a lot of eggs. I mean, watch this. I take this barrel. I take an egg. Boom. It just starts filling with eggs. I remember when I didn't have a lot of chickens. I only had 2. And then it took a while. But now that I have a lot of chickens, I never even ran out of food. My pig farm that I don't really use. And my cow farm, which is just overrun with cows. I don't know what happened here, because I don't think that I had these many cows when I left. Of course, this is my pride and joy right here. This is the town that I was talking about. It took a while for me to build these walls. I originally had planned to update it, but it didn't work. It didn't work out because of some differences. Is this the iron golem that we named? It's not. We have an iron golem that's named here. I think his name is Bob. Yeah, Bobby. Bobby is the first iron golem that ever spawned into this makeshift village that I made. So yeah, he's kind of an important thing. So this is one entrance into the town. There's one entrance, but the main entrance is, of course, is through the portcullis. Looking back on it now, I wish that I designed this thing better, but I really worked with what I had here. I remember staying up many nights because I couldn't get the redstone working. But once I got the redstone working, oh boy, let me just show you. And then to close it, we go to this little tower here and lower. I'm so happy about that. I'm still so glad I made that. That's like the best thing that I've ever made on anything, best thing I've ever made in Minecraft. The entirety of Minecraft. You thought I went nuts when I started showing off the doorbell? Imagine how crazy I actually went when I finally solved the redstone problem. See, one problem I was having was that the redstone I built worked differently in single player and in multiplayer. I think it had something to do with the TPS or something. I'm not too sure. I'm just pulling out fancy words out of my butt. But if there ever was something I truly was proud of in this server, it's this. I worked for days on this thing, day and night, gathering the materials and digging up redstone. Then it was just a matter of crafting the redstone materials, that the repeated, the comparators and stuff, and try to figure out why it wasn't working. Yeah, well, the solution was quite simple. I just made the redstone alternate. I don't really know what this process is called, but I just had it so that that no redstone on the top layer touched each other. So on the piston, I don't think it's the piston layer. I think it's actually the observer layer. I think the redstone would alternate from one side of that row to the other in order to make this thing work. I said redstone way too much in this section. Also, you made it this far into the video. How about sticking around for future videos, pal? You want to stick around for my future video where I summon the dead. So click that subscribe button if you want to see that. Oh, and this is the first Minecraft house I ever built. This is the first house that I built in this city. I'm quite proud of it. It was just like a simple house thing. I don't know where the villager is. I don't know if he's even still alive. But this is the first house I ever built. And this is the second house I ever built. And I think that's the third house I built. No, I think this is it. This is where I got married. And yeah, this is where I got married, and the wedding was sponsored by Barbie. It's all pink. So yeah. I think, oh, the jukebox is still here. Is the music that we played still here? Yeah. Let me tell you about this wedding thing. The whole sponsored by Barbie thing. I remember that joke being in there because I joked about the wedding being a little too pink, you know? Because look at this venue. Pink chairs, pink arch, pink flowers. If I actually had a Barbie themed wedding, this is what it would look like. I freaked out about the jukebox being there because this entire wedding was a disaster. A good one. It was officiated by Steve, or as you may know him, Quickachoo456, and the only guest was Lainey because, well, who the heck else was gonna attend? The four of us were pretty much the only inhabitants in this big and lonely world. The one thing I remember about this wedding was that I can't exactly remember who, but someone wanted to utilize the jukebox for music. Since I had plenty of discs from my adventures, I said, sure, why the heck not? It just so happened that I managed to snag a disc 13 before the wedding. And I thought to myself, you know what would be really funny? I remember Steve was around this place, and then Lainey was over here, and then Dale was here. And I think I was the one that walked down the aisle. Maybe not. But I walked down the aisle, and then that music was playing in the background. So basically, while that just played, I would just like walk down the aisle. Oh, I wouldn't have my shield. I would just walk down the aisle like this, and then like look down, and then wait for them to walk here. The day the wedding happened, which was when all four of us finally managed to be on at the same time, we got on VC. We started to get into our places, and just as I was about to walk down the aisle, I popped in the most romantic disc I had on hand. You know how in weddings the bride and groom exchange rings? For my wedding, they gave me a sword. I don't know what I gave them except a headache, and oh, I don't know, building their island. I kept that diamond sword and eventually upgraded it to netherite. I even gave it a name. Spellsonger. It had mending, looting. It was a pretty good sword. It had a bunch of enchantments that I don't remember, but it was a sword fit for a mountain king, if I do say so myself. When I left the server, I didn't want it to just collect dust, which is why alongside my armor set, I gave Steve everything I had on me. My tools, my armor, and especially my sword. I gave him everything I had built up, and that included the town. I haven't actually introduced you to the town, huh? Well, welcome to Wyoming. It was my home for the 9 months that I spent on it. I remember my first ever villager. It was a zombified one. I didn't bother kidnapping villagers, not with how high up in the sky my base was. Unfortunately, Hans is dead. I commemorated that with a grave near Dea's castle. Speaking of which, this is Dea's castle, or as they call it, the sex dungeon. Make no mistake, however, the person who lived here is the biggest virgin to have ever walked this earth. Pretty sure they've never seen another person's skin, so really, this should be called the sexless dungeon. Anyway, you notice all this dirt underneath? I'm responsible for 90% of that. Before I actually started terraforming, all they had was one layer of dirt. If you dug down, you're dead. So of course, being the thoughtful partner I am, I decided to give them a hand with the terraforming. It took a lot of digging, but I kinda got there. Until, well, I left. So let's talk about something more interesting. Since I had an entire Mountain King motif, I figured it was only natural for someone like me to have a hall of my own, you know? So that's exactly what I did. I didn't want this to be visible though, but hey, based off what I've shown you so far, I think it's fair to say that I'm the most redstone advanced one in this entire server. So of course, somewhere in my domain, I hid a little bunker of sorts. It's well hidden too. I'll give you a couple of seconds to try and find the entrance in this shot right here. Nice guess, champ. Anyway, this is the Hall of the Mountain King. This was my domain that was only known to few. which was like half the entire server because there are only 4 active people at most. And this hall right here is my collection of heads. Yes, I collected heads. It's not much, but before I left, I had actually wanted to expand on this thing a little bit more and put a little bit more life into it, like leaving cobwebs and putting carpet and all that. But hey, what can I do? That's a bygone era, and now here I am walking you through it like a curator. So that's Wyoming. I didn't show you Mineshaft 1 and Mineshaft 2 because there's nothing to it. It's just holes I dug into the earth in order to collect materials. After I was done meandering around in my home, I of course decided it was high time that I visited an old friend's domicile. Yes, that's right. I took a walk back past the UFO and headed straight to Stormy Hollow. And I am going to be frank, this place sucks. It's a swamp. There's not much to be found here, but there is a bit of history, and by a bit I mean a lot. A lot of history happened here. That right there? Let's get a better look. Yup, this here is Lainey's house. This isn't her original house because trust me, the original house was uglier than this. She used to just live in some witch's hut, which actually, it makes sense. She looks like a witch, she sounds like a witch, so she probably is a witch. But do you see anything weird about the house other than its aggressively pink everything? If you said the bamboo, then you are correct. Let me talk to you about how all this bamboo got here in the first place, because bamboo is not native to the swamp. I'm looking at the photos right now and holy guacamole, I don't remember it being this funny. It's not that funny, it really isn't, but it's funny to me because I didn't think she would actually fall for something like this. I'm sure you all know that I have a large abundance of bamboo. I have an entire automatic bamboo farm. I didn't know what to do with the excess since I didn't need that many scaffolds. I'd gone to the alchemist haven, did a little bit of enchanting on the anvil when I noticed that my anvil was about to break. So I said to myself, you know what would be really funny? And before Lainey went ahead and destroyed the entire nether, traveling from Wyoming to Stormy Hollow wasn't that tedious. It only took a couple of minutes, 5 minutes tops. So I went to her house, planted a bunch of bamboo all over it, and then on one of the stalks, I put an anvil on top. I thought to myself at the time that there was no way she would fall for something this stupid. It's so obvious. I went back to Wyoming, did my sting for a while, then I logged off for the night. When I woke up in the morning, hook, line, and sinker, she fell for it, and she died to it. Is that grim? It's not grim. But that is a skeleton horse. I think that might be Steve's skeleton horse. Harold the Armorer's house. Yeah, Harold is not here. Harold might be dead. Oh yeah. I remember that she didn't have any villagers here because, you know, it's a swamp. So no villages around here. Out of goodwill, you know, as a sign of goodwill, I decided, hey, you know what? When she's offline, I'm gonna bring a villager to her place, and she'll be so happy. And you know what? She was. She did get her first villager, and I think she was happy. And then she let them die, because, you know, this place is not really very safe. Oh, great. I finally get to read what's in this thing. That's when we played. March 8th. I think. Champ has been really helpful. I probably owe them a bunch of favors for how helpful they've been. We plan on building a home for our son. Oh, right. I have a son. I don't know where my son is. Dang it. Alright, fine. I never should have opened that stupid diary. Now I have to go find my son. Alright. You see all this bamboo? There's a funny story for that. I'm sure you probably all know, bamboo is not native to swamps. I put all of these here. There's a lot more in the back. But this place used to be filled with bamboo. I put bamboo everywhere. It was so funny. I put bamboo everywhere, and on one of the bamboos, I put an anvil. I put an anvil on top of it so that when she cut it down, it will fall on her head. So what she did was she sent me a photo and she was like, "Hey, did you do this?" And I was asleep at that time, so I didn't get to respond. But you know what happened? She cut it down. She cut one of the bamboo down, and the anvil fell on her head. Funniest thing that I didn't see. Yeah, I just wanted to put that snippet of me talking about the prank I talked about a little while ago, only because I explained it a lot more whimsically than how I did during the voiceover. I explained it whimsically in the actual audio. So yeah, I opened up the book and remembered my son. Let me explain. I haven't told you what the server was called up until now. The server was known as the BSMP. The SMP part stood for Survival Multiplayer, you know that much. The B stood for Biden. I'm not joking. I could make an entire lore video just based on the things that have happened in the BSMP, but this video is already long enough, and I don't think you have another hour to listen to me talk about it. I'll explain a little bit though, just so you know the context of the server's name. In this server, me and Lainey are divorced. It's based off of real life. We didn't actually divorce, but we did split up. Yep, I used to date her. Dark times. But we weren't just divorced. We had a son, a sniffer named Joe Biden. Why did we name the sniffer that? I don't know. The little guy just looked so sleepy. Besides, it also fit them. But now I'm at a loss because this is a big, big world. And I used to know it like the back of my hand, but without the nether portals, I don't even know where anything is anymore. It's been so long, I've been everywhere, I wouldn't know where to begin to look. I wanted to go out and look for Joe. My son's out there all alone, but, you know, me and Lainey made him a little haven. A safe place where he could roam freely and be safe from all the weather. But he's still alone. Wouldn't it be poetic that the last time I ever set foot on this server was to say goodbye to my son? But before I could even begin to look for Joe, I had to visit Steve's domain. He spent a lot of time on this. I used to have a lot of diorites in my chest, didn't really use them, didn't really know what to do with them, but when he started his little project, the server ran out of diorite pretty quick. Pretty quick at you. I was always such a busybody. Any block anyone needed, I was out searching for it. Building portals and highways here and there so we all had access to all sorts of biomes. Of course, I always brought back a boatload of blocks. Such was the life of an adventurer. You see how it's all uneven and weird when, look, the water's even flowing in. Well, what happened here was I blew most of this up. Well, I tried to blow most of it up, but then I failed, and then I just started digging it. It used to be all the way out there too. You see that? There was even some more out there, but I successfully managed to fill it up with water. You see the dirt? Yeah, I was responsible for that. There's even a TNT hole and a creeper hole right here. I blew this up because Steve wanted to make water 7, but they made it a little too close to the shore. So they needed me to blow some areas up so that they could have space. And they did. They had space, and now they planted some mangrove. Oh, I guess that he was responsible for the mangrove earlier. It's pretty good though. I don't remember when I was last here, but there is some improvements. I don't think that was there before. I left before that was there. And then there's his horse, Grim. The horse in Lainey's place in Stormy Hollow, I thought was Grim, but this right here actually is Grim. There's Grim. He got Grim from Wyoming. There's actually one stray skeleton horse roaming the Wyoming mountains right now. He's still alive, he's still there, hasn't despawned since the start of the server. Because I'll tell you now, the skeleton horses actually spawned in when I first arrived. Like the first 2 nights that I arrived in Wyoming, the skeleton horses popped out of nowhere. I think there were 5 of them, but I think 2 died. So the one is at Laney's, one is here, and then one is left at the at Wyoming. What? Is that my... No, that's not my parrot. There's not much to Steve's Water 7. This is pretty much it. I'd always been hoping to see it finished, but now that's just a pipe dream. Do check out Steve and Laney's respective channels though. I'll say that their channels are definitely nothing like mine, but they may be your cup of tea. After I had seen Water 7, I left, off to find where I had left my son. I didn't know where he was, but I had a general idea of where I left him. Back at the Sunrise mining camp, there was a wooden bridge that led to the woods. I remember now that I had built it for a reason, and since I can't remember the reason, that must be where the journey to find Sniffer Joe began. But first, let me explain to you why I have a parrot following me. I don't ever remember naming this thing, nor did I call it anything else other than bird, so now I am naming it Beelzebub. My logic here is that when I find Sniffer Joe, he's going to be lonely once I disappear off the face of this earth. But if I leave Beelzebub with him, maybe he won't be so lonely. That, and I also didn't want to leave Beelzebub in that cramped motel room. So I ran through the woods, rode through the rivers, found a shipwreck that I've never seen before and got confused. Then I went back to rowing into the ocean until I found something. And when I found land, I knew that I was close, but I didn't know where it was. Land ahoy! Is that it? Is this it? So I ran around looking for anything familiar, which was almost impossible since everything was just mountains and trees. But while I was frolicking through the greens, an Enderman wanted to pick a fight with me. There's literally an Enderman right there. Okay, we're good. Oh, what the fuck? We're getting into familiar territory. Real familiar territory. Not familiar enough though. I ignored him though because I had zero faith in my golden swords. That, and I had also just taken off my armor, so you know. Bird. The turtle is whatever. Whatever. He can be on the boat. Oh? Are those mine? Oh, look at this. Look at this. Sand. So we must be getting into some real familiar territory if we're here. Look at this. Look at this. I'll leave the boat. I'll leave the boat. We're close. Here he is. There he is. Sniffer Joe's home. Champ, Dea, and Laney. When the hell did Dea join this? Okay, whatever. Sure, come on, get in. Look at this. It's even shaped like a sniffer. But it kind of looks like eyes. It kind of looks like a giant pat. Whatever. Look, we got beds. The roof. We got chests. And here he is. Oh, he snuffed at something. Sniffer Joe. Here he is. What a cute little guy. He's got a nice pen and all. He's safe. He's a little bit quiet. Look, we even put lily pads here so that he wouldn't drown. He's a little noisy though. All right. And then when it's like raining and stuff, he can be here. Oh look, there's even a map. I didn't recognize this. That's the map. I don't know who made it, but I like it. It's a pretty good map. You patrol the area. It's a nice little area too. I knew it was mine because there's no way. All the materials we had. Oh man. Took a while, but we got there. It's just a little look, it's even hidden a little bit so that you won't find it. Not unless you're looking for it. Even I had a hard time looking for it. At least I'm home with my son now. He's looking a little I can hear spiders, but that's okay. Spiders are they're good for the environment, okay? They eat bugs. They eat bugs and they probably eat ticks, which Sniffer Joe won't have. I'm just glad to be here with my son now. And, well... Oh! No. There's a guy in here. Yeah. Don't worry. Wow, this gold sword sucks. Yeah, when this creature snuck up on me, I figured that this was no way to leave Joe. If I had taken my sweet time and gotten nostalgic for just a few seconds longer, there would have been a containment breach, which is not ideal. For the last time, I rolled up my sleeves and started building. Though it's not really building as it is baby-proofing the thing a little bit. I promised not to change the world. I promised to not add stuff or break stuff, but this is the one exception. The second exception. The first exception is when I broke a piece of glass to get inside of the UFO where I spawned in. And when it was all over, it felt like I finally got the closure that I needed. I'd left the server so abruptly that I didn't even get to properly say goodbye and admire the things that I left behind one last time. But on the bright side, at least I now have this video to look back on if I'm feeling nostalgic. I didn't really dig deeper into Stormy Hollow or talk about all the lore, but let's be frank here. Stormy Hollow isn't my place. I don't know its lore, it's Laney's. Okay, if you want that, ask Laney for it. The lore, I don't have 4 hours to sit here and talk to you about the events that led up to the eventual downfall of the server right now. For now, bye-bye.